If life gives me lemons, I'll make lemonade. And if I get slam dunk intentionally, retaliatorily wrecked, might as well make some YouTube revenue out of it. Let's see how I got here, and you be the judge. Our fateful adversary I'll simply call the Merc, because as a rule, I don't name people. I never make things personal unless I'm there in person. Doesn't matter who they were, what mattered was their plan. The following happened on lap 10 after a fair dose of actually decent racing. The two Mercs are fighting ahead. It's a good opportunity for me to bag both places if I can get myself into position to kick them when they're down. Heading into turn 1, the two Mercs are side by side. Brilliant. I stage an undercut on both of them in the hopes of slipping past with better momentum. But emerging from the corner, this Merc wanders into my path, we make contact, and iRacing decides he no longer has working suspension on the rear quarter. Wobbling down to turn 2, that Merc then decides that if his race is basically over, so is mine, and he maliciously takes me out. Here's a slow-mo static shot of that corner exit so you can see the paths taken. I'm even heading away from them at the point of contact, to afford them both more space in case the two Mercs were to themselves collide. The Merc that hit me was heading away from the other Merc at the time, and I just happened to be there. Devil's advocate, I don't actually blame them for the initial incident whatsoever. It's clearly not intentional on their part. Nobody can keep track of a car on the left and right and drive the nuts off a GT4. It's a flat out racing incident limited by the unfortunate circumstance of us all having two eyes but only be able to look at one thing at a time. iRacing has to take a lot of the blame for this initial incident even being an incident. Sorry to say it, but in Le Mans Ultimate, this rightly would have amounted to basically nothing in the way of damage, scratched paint, and we'd have been able to carry on racing. It needs sorting for the sake of gameplay. But what happened next was pure malice. This is what really corrodes this thing we love and depend on to pass the time enjoyably. If I didn't do this for a job, then I'd be questioning whether to carry on or not if that's a thing I'm going to get if I stayed. And that's why I'm reporting this. I need people to stick around and be fresh meat in this sim racing machine, and they're not likely to do that if they encounter one of the many drivers that don't seem to choke on the idea of taking someone out on purpose. The aftermath, both in the pits, I say, nice one dude. They say, f*** you, you broke my car. I say, maybe watch the replay. Then, after a window of silence as they finish the race and cross the line, I say, if you want to apologise, now's the chance. Then just a simple, report me if you want, winky face. Aren't we all a bit tired of this? I know I am. Tired of accepting disrespectful conduct everywhere I turn, where the task of judge, jury and executioner is handled in-house, on the fly, by whoever feels like it. Tired of people wading about, doing whatever they want, fueled by spite and a sense of impunity. Why is it that, if my car went wobbly, I'd feel compelled, out of respect and cordiality, to just pit and watch the replay before calling the shots? Yet this missile didn't feel that was necessary at all before escalating things to a full-blown crash out. No apology, no consideration, just complete scorn for someone else on the service that they just bulldozed. It hurts because before this, we were all having a nice, lovely little freeway ding-dong. Back and forth, it was actually a pretty good race up to then. Anyway, my dog thanks you for paying for the next however long's worth of food with the revenue from this video. Cheers!